What's up, Jay? What's up, DJ? Or D Lovely? We're going to do a quick mini read just to tap in, check in. I did do 2 readings that's on the homepage, a part 1 and part 2. So after, you guys can check that out if you guys would like additional readings. All right. Let's see what the overall surrounding energy is. What's the overall energy, Holy Spirit, angel guides? What is the overall energy? Take those 2. Ooh, I like. We have contracts, career, and commitment. We keep getting this damn air energy. We have Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So either this reading is for a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or this is the person that is in your energy. Doesn't have to be. This person just have qualities of an air sign. So we have shadow side, moon, the dark night, alchemy, ancestor guides. Someone's going through a dark night of soul right now. Someone is doing shadow work right now, and someone is connecting more to their shadow self. So the darker parts of themselves, right? And I feel like someone has to, there's 2 energies because the collective is in different places, but someone either has to learn how to alchemize this energy to control it, or someone has learned how to control this energy and they know how to use it. Like, they've been guided on it. So they're very aware of when they're tapping into the other sides of them. That's not just a saying, you guys. Everyone really does have 2 sides to them. We, in our human nature, we are a duality. So where there's good, there's bad. Where there's evil, there's good, peace, whatever is the opposite of that, right? But there is no such thing as good or bad. That's just how we categorize it. But that darker side of you is also a part of you, and it's a part of you that you have to understand and get to know. The same way you have the light part of you, you have to learn, know, and get to understand. So when you bring those 2 parts together into balance, then you become a whole individual. You become more balanced, right? That's what this whole human experience is about. Learning yourself, who you really are, bringing it into balance, stepping into your inner power. So, hi Jessica. So it feels like this is the work being done right now. Whether someone's in your energy, they're experiencing it, or you are experiencing it. I do feel like it's 2 people experiencing it, but just in different ways. There's the light energy and then there's the dark energy. So as they come into union with one another, you know, those energies also can repel one another. So what the connection is doing is revealing the shadow side to the person who carries the light, and it's revealing the light side to the person who carries the shadow. It's like you're me and I'm you, but what is being reflected out of you, I see that I'm capable of it as well. So for the person who's in the darker energy, they see the light within the light person, and that inspires them. That shows them that there is good, genuine people out there in the world. There is people who are authentic and who aren't as broken and maybe even deceptive as they are, right? Because in the shadow, you hide. In the shadow, you don't want to be seen for who you really are. And that's why you have people that wear a mask and they're manipulative. See, the light energy also wears a mask because they hide the shadow within them. But the shadow person hides the light within them. So they're both doing the same thing, just in different ways. And until they both can accept that part of the other, this is my shadow and this is my light, and I need to come into union with both, then it's like, then that person is able to balance out. So we have the shadow energy that's being presented. It's a growing period. What else, Holy Spirit angel guys, before we get into the tarot for Blue Butterfly? I might put this one on my YouTube channel too. So this one feels like a very collective message where it's going to have information that people are going to need when they come across this energy on their journey. We have apples. To taste one must swallow it whole, and beneath the satin flame hides drowning waters. I feel like this is the truth. Those apples represents the truth, right? It's like swallow the truth. Swallow your pride. Swallow what you've been disappointed by. Like if someone's hurt you or someone didn't turn out to be what you thought they were, especially if this person was mirroring you, just accept what you are seeing, accept what you are in, accept these parts of yourself as well. This is about acceptance, right? So it's like accept it. That acceptance is important. We have elders. Birth from seed within the belly of the moon, they are the wise, felt touches over our hearts and felt deep within the marrow of our spirit. To me, these are your ancestors. These are your guides, right? It's like trust that other people have been through what you are going through, or not everyone, because you are on a spiritual path. Not everyone is awakened. So you are seeing a different life. You are in a different place, a different realm. You're on the same earth, but you're in a different reality than people that you started off this journey with, right? Especially if you've been growing. But the universe is letting you know that there are people who will be sent into your life, or even if you find them online, there's people who have wisdom. There's your ancestors and your guides. Trust that wisdom. And I'm feeling the energy of researching off of this too, right? Like history. Like history can be like a he say, she say. You weren't there, so you can't witness it, but there's certain things you kind of just have to trust. Just like you can't see spirit, but when you feel things within your spirit and your intuition, it's a feeling. You get me? You're being guided. You can't see it, but you kind of have to just trust it. So it's like trust information that's sent from the universe to teach you, show you. We have greet the darkness. This the shadow energy. This the shadow energy where y'all being pushed to tap into that other part of you, right? It's like, don't be afraid of your shadow. Shadow can be scary, but once you learn to master it, you become one with it. And people don't, I like to say everyone, but I'm starting to take that back, because I don't like to exclude, like, oh, you got these people who are gods and goddesses, and then you have these people who aren't. In reality, we all are all gods and goddesses. We all come from the cosmos, the universe. But our experiences, they do separate us in our vibration. And the people who have this strength, right, usually, which is the light energy, but they're looked at as the weakling, but they're really the strong one. These people they're like naturally a god or a goddess. They don't really need to, they do have to grow into it on their journey because of the programming, but these are the kind of people who never really fully are programmed. They're always questioning. They're always like, this don't really make sense, but I'll go along to get along because it just seems like everybody around me is doing this and something is wrong with me. They feel like the oddball because they cannot see how everyone else is so like going along to get along, and they're seeing something completely different. that tends to be the light, empathetic energy, right? So they naturally come here with this angel-like energy, earth angels. That's how I see twin flames. It's the earth angel, and the twin flame is an angel too, but it's like the story in the Bible. I'm not religious, but I can use everything for contrast because everything has truth. You just have to be able to have that discernment to figure out how the truth actually went. But I see it that way. It's like both of them was made from God. They were actually made to do life with one another, because each of these person has a duality, and these dualities are represented outside of you. So when you meet that twin flame, that's your shadow twin or your light twin. If you're the shadow twin, only you can impact each other in that big, deep way to transform, because it's like they're your other half, but they're not. You each have your own soul, but you were made from the same. The way I explained it to my friend was like, if y'all ever seen that Tinkerbell movie, right? And it's like the Tinkerbells, the Pixies. I'll give you guys a rough draft if you don't know, but they're made from laughs, right? So when they're created, when they're born, it's a laugh that they come from like a child. And then their purpose and everything is already there. Like everything that they're going to become it's supposed to already be there. So in this one movie, when Tinkerbell didn't know she had a twin sister because they were born from the same laugh, but they were separated and they were totally different. I think she was earth. She was earth energy, and her sister was like winter. So she was very like, she's probably water. So her sister is probably a water sign. Tinkerbell was an earth sign. But see, Tinkerbell was like an inventor, right? She couldn't just do the regular earth toiling stuff. But anyway, that's a whole different point. We're not going to get into that because I'm here be breaking down Tinkerbell movie. But it's like them being born from the same laugh is the same way. It's like they're still two separate individuals, people, but they were born from this. They were made from the same cloth, but they had different experiences. Tinkerbell is earth, her sister is winter, and then they couldn't cross. So that whole movie was about finding a way for them to be able to be together, like spend time with each other. Because when Tinkerbell would go to the winter side, she would be too cold and she can like dry up. When the sister would try to go to the earth side, she needs the winter, the water. I haven't seen it in a long time, so forgive me if I'm not explaining it 100%. But she wasn't as safe on that other side because it wasn't her environment, her territory. So her and Tinkerbell had to find a middle ground to where they can both be in the same place at once. That's the same depiction here with the twin flame, with the shadow energy and the light energy. When it comes into balance is when both parts are in the same place at once, right? We have Read the Dark. I didn't read this one. So we have hair where the spine bends and the mouth quivers. What the hell? Hold on. Let me read again. We have hair where the spine bends and the mouth quivers, breathes the hidden, the pieces that makes you whole, but cut deep with all of their sharp edges. That's what pushes you into the darkness, is the pain, is the hurt, is the betrayal, right? So someone is definitely doing shadow. This is what shadow work looks like. A lot of people on the spiritual journey don't do shadow work. This is why their manifestations don't come true. This is why they think tarot is all bullshit and they don't see progress, because they're literally not doing the work. This is a gift. The fact that you have been given, like the fact that you can see reality in a completely different way and your eyes are open, that's a gift from the universe. It's the same way they depict it in the Bible, where it says you've been saved, you've been called, right? If you guys are resonating with this reading, tap the screen. it's like you've been called, you've been saved. That's the same thing here, but you have to see the beauty in it, the gift in it, that even though you go through a lot of trials and tribulations and pain, especially with connections, it's all to teach you, because it's going to strengthen who you are, and it's going to help you find out who you really are. The twin flame journey, not everyone gets to experience it, right? And some people do kind of experience it, but they experience it on a different, lower level. An explanation of that, because I'm going to post this video on YouTube so you guys can go back to it and actually hear it, because this is really what I'm explaining is twin flame energy. This is twin flame. We haven't gone into the energy yet of what's happening between the two twin flames, but I'm explaining the work that twin flames push each other into, right? Like, yes, it's romantic and it's the nice feeling when you meet someone and it's all magical and all of that, but it's so much more deeper than the emotional feelings it gives you. This is really the person that pushes you into your growth, right? For you to see what you're really made of, and you do the same for them. So it's a very, very powerful connection, even throughout the toxicity. But what I was saying before getting into that was that twin flame connections are presented to you when you're on a lower vibration as well, before you even awaken. But those twin flames aren't your true twin flame. I do agree you have one true twin flame, but you have multiple twin flames. So that can sound confusing. With me, everything is a paradox. It's going to sound like I don't make sense, but you have to reach a certain level of understanding to understand that I do make sense. So what I mean by that, it's like before you were awakened, there was a bond you had with someone who you kept going back and forth. You didn't know why it couldn't come together. This person felt like they were the one. You had so much things in common, but they were the opposite of you, but somehow still the same version of you. So it's like you're looking at the same vision, but you're both on complete opposite ends of it. And it never can come together. That's a twin flame connection. But a twin flame, that the reason why it's a twin flame connection, because it's karmic. It's not what you think it is. It looks like this is the love of your life, but that connection is actually a lesson. It's actually teaching you something, and it's showing you where you don't love yourself, because you're willing to give everything for this person to just see you and make it work with you, and you don't want to move on from them. You don't want to listen to anybody tell you about how this person is using you, manipulating you, You're fighting, because in your heart you believe this is the person I belong with. You have dreams about this person. You just feel connected. It's the best sex of your life, That's a twin flame connection. But see, that's a past life connection. And in this lifetime, you are supposed to break away from it. This is where you start to awaken, because that starts to finally make sense to you, where it's like, this connection is not coming together. Why is this connection not coming together? I know this person loves me, but it wasn't about them loving you. It's about the way you allow them to treat you. So until you take accountability, your eyes won't open. Everything points back to you. Okay, yeah, we get this. You feel all these emotions. You have all this love. You know that they care, but they won't. They keep resisting. So why are you allowing them to come in and out? Why are you allowing them to resist you? Do you believe this is all you're good for? Do you believe this is the best you can do? So if you believe this person that treats you like shit, even if they quote unquote love you, if that's the best they can do for you, then that says a lot about how you feel about yourself. So until you start taking accountability, you won't see, right? That's shadow work. That's what shadow work look like. And that's what that person was pushing you into in that twin flame connection, but you weren't aware yet. You weren't awakened yet enough to see it. You were blinded. So you're under an illusion for a very, very long time, like a spell, right? Like you're seeing more of what you want it to be rather than what it is. Because then it's also mixed with the empath, the light energy on that side. It's mixed in with them seeing that person as how they are. because that empath have pure motives, pure intentions, pure, everything is pure about them. So when they're looking at the other person, they're seeing that light inside of that person, because that person has it there too, which that light is themselves. But this person isn't treating this person fair, the light energy, because what they see is darkness. Because of the darkness in them, they're reflecting it within that. They're projecting that. So that's why the dynamic never comes together. But that's when you're in a lower vibration and you're not able to see. But that's a twin flame connection. And when you finally break away from it and you get over that person, you realize like how much time you really wasted loving them. And then because the illusion has faded, you no longer put them on that pedestal of this person is the one for me. Because then your desire for love, or the type of love that you want, it ends up changing, right? So when you get into connections and they hurt you and they hold you back, they're not treating you right. Remember that time you got over that person who had that similar energy. You will move through it. You guys are welcome for the breakdown. Yeah, I'm going to post this because this is pretty much how my podcast is going to be, explaining like the more spiritual aspect of things. And in the readings, you guys will have that explanation of like how I'm viewing this when I'm reading the energies. Because I'm not that typical tarot reader that... I feel like more tarot readers are starting to awaken. I don't really watch other tarot readers, so I don't know. But when I did start off watching it, it was a whole lot of keeping people stagnant because they just met this person that they have this strong bond with, and they're like, that's the one, that's my twin flame. But then they're more into the romantic notion of like, one day me and this person is going to be together. I just have to wait for them to grow up. But then they're taking abuse because they feel like this is the one for them. And it's like, that's not what the twin flame journey is about. It's not. But if you don't know that, and that's as far as your knowledge expands in your spiritual growth, you are going to be stuck there. That's why I always tell people, when you're leading a collective, that's a real responsibility. Just because you have a gift, that don't mean you get up here and you start just talking to people. You need to know what you're talking about, because it's the same way where in church, right? They say the pastor is responsible for those people getting to God. Like, you're giving people advice and you're telling people things where they're trusting you with that energy. They're going to feel stuck hearing over and over again, oh, this person's going to come back. You're the one that they love. Who cares if they love you? They need to do right by you. You need to choose yourself to strengthen your self-love so that you can call in that energy that is right for you. But going back to this, the twin flames, they trigger each other into growth, even if it doesn't look like anything is happening, because this connection is divine. This connection is the strongest twin flame connection when you enter your shadow twin. You're going to know that it's different, because that person you got over that you thought was the one, and even if you met another energy like that, or even after the shadow twin, it's something about that shadow twin you cannot separate from. You always feel them. Even if you hate them, you will forgive them because you have unconditional love for them, because that is you. That is your reflection. That person, you understand that person in a deep way, even in their darkest mindset, because that's your mind, right? If you had no self-control, if you were as impulsive, hi Vonti, as them, you would do those same things that they do. So you can understand why they make the choices that they make. And that's where the empathy comes from, is no one else understands that person in the way that you do. And that person also sees you and understands you. So even when they were living in the illusion, because they did create an illusion when you first met, they pretended like they were on your level. They pretended like they were this light source as well. So that's why you thought you met the one, until the mask fell off and you saw this person was kind of like that last energy that I was dealing with, that I had to heal from and grow from. But this time it's like the way they betray you, that what that person did to you, the other twin flame was nothing compared to what the shadow twin does. Because the shadow twin is where you actually let your guard down. You realize you've never been vulnerable before. Even if you're a vulnerable person, hi Slim. Even if you're a vulnerable person and maybe you're transparent, you recognize like, I really hid a lot of things in relationships because I did not feel as comfortable to really let my guard down. But with that shadow twin, you let your guard down. That's why the connection is hard, right? Because it's confusion in it. It's like this person seemed perfect, and then all of a sudden they weren't. Like, what happened? You've seen another side of them. You didn't expect it to be from them because the way they made you feel seen. They made you feel heard. They made you connected to someone differently than you've ever connected to anyone else. And it felt like I'm connected to this person as myself, right? That's the shadow twin. So someone's going through that right now. They're trying to understand. Someone is in that dark place because they're heartbroken. Even though they're in this shadow energy, they are alchemizing it. So it's a good energy. It's like this group is doing well, because even if you're triggered, there's a way to use the energy and alchemize it. And you're alchemizing it for growth. You're alchemizing it with wisdom. You're alchemizing it with showing people who you are, but you're still very attracting, right? So when you start letting out that shadow part of you, it's a darker energy. So people will be triggered. There'll be people who will like it because, you know, everybody like a little bit of crazy, evil, whatever. Then you'll have people who are going to judge it and be like, ew, you think you're better than... To me, like, shadow energy is anything that can be intimidating in some way. Light energy tends to kind of play cool in the situation, play small, don't want to be seen, very, very humble, right? But that darker energy is very loud. It's like, I really don't give a fuck. So it's like your confidence. That's the way to use your shadow. Because even though confidence isn't something negative, in a sense, it does create and stir up intimidation, that energy, right? So your confidence, when you're dealing with your confidence and your shadow energy, will be completely different than how you show it in your light energy. Because your confidence in your light energy will be quiet. It'll be like you might have information, knowledge, and know some things, but you wouldn't raise your hand in class. You know how there's some people that just have to show off that they know the answer. You know that you know the answer, but you don't feel the need to have to like be loud about it. But when the teacher call on you, you're not afraid. You have to go walk up to the board and write out your answer. So your energy is respected, because even though your confidence is quiet, it's shown that person is confident. Like, you get me? They're sure of themselves. Darker energy is like, it's like where you can be loud about it. And it doesn't have to be negative, but it's like, maybe your school have a uniform dress code, right? But your uniform is always accented with something different. Your hairstyle, your makeup, your shoes. Even though you're wearing the same uniform as everybody else, you stand out because yours is always done up, right? That's a louder confidence. And then the way that you walk in that room with confidence. So you're not like, look at me, but your image portrays that confidence. People can mistake that for arrogance because there is false confidence as well, right? We're going to get back to the reading because y'all know I like to go all over the place. But I need y'all to understand the way that I talk is always a paradox. So the more you understand my perspective, then you're able to understand how I think, because there's always two coins to everything. Like there's two coins to you. There's two coins to what negative energy is. There's two coins to what positive energy is. There's duality in its duality. So you can have a false confidence where it's like I said with the appearance. But see, that energy I wasn't saying was a false confidence. That person has real confidence, right? Because they like to dress. That's a part of how they express themselves. Just like creatives tend to dress crazy, like in ways that other people don't. So you can recognize a creative by their style. Like, you're creative. Thank you, Nani. That's just self-expression. But you could see the confidence in them. Then you have another person who could look that same way, right? They'll come to school and they'll accent their uniform and they walk in the room with confidence. But on the inside, they're not confident. It's just presentation. So that's a false confidence. But if you put those two people together, you wouldn't know who's the false one and who's the real one until you really got to know them. Right? So going back to the shadow energy, light energy, twin flames. The twin cast the illusion, I'm just like you, twin, right? Like we're perfect for each other. And if you rush into the connection, you're not going to see that they're not who you are in the sense of the light energy that you emit, right? Because maybe if you saw this person and who in the energy they really carried, you wouldn't have chosen them, and they knew that. So they presented something that was not real. And that's what it was for their confidence as well. Their confidence was a presentation. Wearing a mask. The other twin, the light twin, they wear a mask too. But see, their mask is the complete opposite, that they're not as bad. So this is, it's so crazy. Like when I'm explaining it, because when I'm explaining like the shadow energy, light energy, twin flames, all of that, I be having realizations too of my own experience. But it's because Spirit is giving me the message. Just because I deliver it to the collective, it doesn't mean that I learn any separately or differently from that. Like, I'm a teacher outside of myself. So even though I'm the one speaking, I'm speaking the truth of what's being given to me, not my own thoughts, what I think, right? So that's why I was laughing, because I was having an epiphany. But it's like the falseness within the light energy is that they don't have no darkness, that they're not bad, they're good. Right? Like everything bad happens to them. So it's a false image of like, even though you don't think you're perfect, you think you're perfect. It's that judgmentalness of, I'm not as bad as them because they're the one. Like it's like that projection of you're wrong and I'm right. Right? So that's the mask that the light energy wears. But you know what that energy is that makes her feel that way? Her shadow, which is them in the flesh. So they behave that way in the flesh. And that's what's hidden behind her. But she's the light in the flesh, and that's what's hidden behind them. You get me? So it's like she's actually the real beast. She's the one to really be afraid of. She's the one that will pull the trigger. They might just talk about it, because on the inside, they really are afraid. Because remember, it's false. That's what makes the light energy more dangerous. That's why people say those quiet people are scary. Don't mess with the quiet ones, because they're the ones that are really capable. Yeah, it's deep. It's really, really, really deep. So, and I think that the light energy knows that deep down inside, they know if they tap into their shadow, that it's a beast behind all of that. So that's why a lot of people that quote unquote say they're good or operate in the light energy, they don't feel comfortable, or they judge others that carry that darker energy because they know what's within them deep down inside, and they would probably be worse than what they see. So, which is true. So when you actually get pushed into that dark night of soul and you start tapping into that shadow energy, you're now just like this person. You're now being tested with that energy that they were tested in. They gave into it and they lived their life in the shadow. But when that light energy gets into it, now this is where they have to alchemize it. They have to really strengthen themselves to not fall into it. He actually seen my shadow side. I scared him. They definitely get scared when they see it too, because they trigger it out of you. They start making you act in a way that you've never thought you could act like, right? The right one would make you bust out their windows. The right one will make you key out their car. But see, the reason why that's so important is for people to understand their duality, because then you understand other people, right? Like, then you recognize, damn, I could too be toxic. I am toxic in my own other ways. But if you always looking at yourself like this light who is so good, you're going to be judgmental and think everybody else is wrong and da-da-da-da-da. But you could end up in that same place too. So that's why there's no right or wrong. It's all lessons. It's all coming into one and in balance. It's the way that you use the energy. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. But you can't do nothing if you're not aware of it. So awareness needs to increase of self. I still get joke of when I shut the club down over my kid's dad had the security running. Damn, that you was out there doing that, Nanez. Don't push me. Don't push me, that beast come out. So we have reflection. We have be wary of things you believe to see with eyes wide shut, for they are mirrors of the mad and truths only spoken with a bleeding tongue. Right? So Spirit is also warning against, like, be careful of what people say when they're joking. Right? And they say, I'm just joking, but they were being real negative. Like, they're speaking truth. And even when whoever is mirroring you, if that is your shadow, it's like, listen to what they say. Even if you can't see it, if you don't have physical proof, don't put a blind eye to it and act like you don't see it or you didn't hear that. Right? An example of that one time is like when my ex was in jail, my twin. He was breaking up with me because he used to do that. Like, he was self-sabotage, but we would talk about it. So when we would break up, it would only last like 2 days or something. Because I'm like, okay, he's frustrated. He's in jail. I get it. He's having a moment. This was where I practiced love in a way that I've never given anyone else, where it was like, I'm patient with him, so I'm not even going to take these seriously. But see, the thing in that is that you're doing it out of love. But people think that they have you under lock or under control, that they can come back anytime that they want, because in his mindset, he's seeing me through his shadow lens. He's not seeing me through my light lens. And I couldn't think like him at that point because I was not in my shadow energy. I was not someone who was deceptive. Like, I could be, but it's not something I practice. So why would I think that you're lying to me or doing anything, you get me, whatever, or that you're thinking this way about me? So we used to email one another, and I still have those emails. I haven't read through them in a long time, but after we broke up, the way he did it made no sense. It was like it came out of nowhere, and it's like he was finding something to blame, and it didn't make sense, and it's like he knew it. And he broke up with me the worst time. Literally, we was fighting and breaking up when my brother was getting buried. So that's some shit I could never forget. Like, you really chose right now for some bullshit that is not even true. Like, it was like manipulation. But when I was healing through that period, and I went back to all the emails, and I remember one point where he was breaking up with me, he mentioned something where he said he had another opportunity with someone from his past, and he didn't know if he could break up with me. Like, but it was like one sentence, and then he went into something else. So I overlooked it at that point, because the way he worded it, it was like he could have been talking about me in that what, because he talked he talked in like third, I don't know if it's third party is what you would say. Like, he would talk like that sometimes, and I understood how he talked. So it was something that I was just quick to brush over, because it wasn't, I don't know, it was like all the other stuff he was saying was more sentimental than that one sentence. So after everything, I started going back and I started pulling, and I was like, damn, the red flags was always there. He said it. He was being honest with me. He wasn't sure, but I couldn't tell that he wasn't sure, because I was so caught up in what I was seeing through my eyes of where I was sure, right? So I could not see. That's why it's important to tap into your shadow, because your shadow is like a blind spot to yourself. But that connection teaches you that. So it's like, don't overlook, because even in that moment when he said it, my body reacted, my intuition reacted, but like I said, I skipped past it because all the other things was touching more of what we had going on, and where we were kind of like, it was sentimental, leaning back towards us getting into balance. So it was so easy to overlook it. But when you're not in the situation and you start trying to figure out things, it starts to come, right? Those answers. So don't overlook anything that you see. All right. Now let's get into the tarot and see what's going on with this shadow energy. And then we're going to wrap it up real quick. What else, Holy Spirit, angel guys, do you have for Blue Butterfly Gang on this energy? Tell me about the past. Yeah, because I'm going to upload this, so I want this to be a reading that even when new people read it, watch it, they could see, they could put their place in it, because they'll be at a certain, you guys will be at a certain storyline, like whether you're resonating with the past energy, the present, or the future. Tell me the current energy, Holy Spirit, angel guides, and the future energy. So in the past, this person was invested. So there was a connection that was reciprocating for a time. In the current, this person has to make a decision. They have not made a decision. They're going back and forth, like, about their decision. In the future, they become awakened and they go down a spiritual path. Like, they choose a spiritual path. Tell me about the Seven of Pentacles in the past. Page of Wands. What else? Ooh. Okay, they were hiding the truth. The past was, they did invest in this connection, but they were immature. They were very young-minded. This was the first time that they actually invested in anyone, invested emotions, and they really tried to be honest. So I do think that this person really tried. Like, regardless of whatever they did in this situation, they gave the best version of themselves to their twin. But they were immature. They were hiding this. This was the illusion. They pretended, right? Like they had clarity, that they were sure, that they knew what they wanted, but they were not sure. They still chose to invest anyways within the connection, even though they weren't sure. So what ended up happening within this connection? What was their intent? What was their goal? What was their goal? Let's keep it. They weren't sure. Right? This is sideways. It's looking like their goal was to build with someone. Their goal was to be in a partnership and have love, but this person wasn't sure. I feel like it was something where they were testing it. Like, if I find the right one, I'll settle down. But this person wasn't used to being in relationships. They weren't used to being with anyone. And, you know, relationships take work. People, if they're under an illusion that you're going to find the right person and then everything is going to be peachy creamy, like, that's delusion. Relationships take work regardless. So you're still dealing with two different people who have two different desires, minds. It's not about always agreeing on the same thing, but it's about being able to work through situations. That's what makes the relationship beautiful. To know that that safety is there. If we have an argument or a fight, you're not going to run away. We're going to work through this. So if you have an immature mindset and you don't know how to work through conflict, that's going to mess up the relationship, regardless of how much emotions and love you have. So I feel like this person definitely had a lot of feelings, but they lacked clarity. They were not sure about a relationship because they didn't know how to give to a relationship. This is also what was in their subconscious. This is not something that they knew right away. I'm just reading what this person felt in the back of their mind, but it wasn't presented to them up front. They just knew that they wanted a relationship. So it's like somebody who says, I want to be a fashion designer. You know you want to be a fashion designer, but you have no idea how to do that. Like, you've never sold anything in your life. You've never made anything, but you just looked at something and you desired that because you was like, that's kind of cool. I like that. I want to be able to make my own clothes. I really want that. Right? But you have no clue how to do it. So the only way you would have to learn from experience. For one, you're going to have to fail at that relationship. You're going to have to fail at becoming a fashion designer because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. So you have to learn. That's what this kind of felt like. Like, they just knew they wanted to invest. They didn't even know that they would fail at it or anything. But they didn't have the mentality ready for the relationship. King of Pentacles. They also felt like they weren't ready because there's someone who would want to give to the connection, take care, provide. They were uncertain about that. They were uncertain about their ability to be able to provide. So they had a young mindset and they weren't sure if they could be a provider for this connection. But it's something that they wanted. The love was real. They felt like this person was the one for them and they couldn't have them. That's what they felt like. So that's the truth. The truth is that they weren't ready. They knew they weren't ready because they were young-minded. They still had to grow. They weren't sure if they could be a great provider for the relationship. They felt like she deserved more. When masculines tend to find someone that they really care about and they don't give to them, in certain places, not every energy thinks like that, but most, it's like when they find someone who they really do care about and love, and they will start thinking of those things. Can I provide? Can I do this? Can I do that? They knew they couldn't provide. They felt like what she deserved was more. So another example of that is like a lot of masculines feel like when they're with a pretty woman or a woman that can take care of herself, an independent woman, they feel like they have to match that energy times 2. So they have to be able to provide for the things that she wants and the things that they should be able to take care of. So then it's like, to them in their mind, it gets really hard to have her because they don't feel good enough as a masculine to provide what they believe she should have, even if she's not asking for that. That's how they feel, and that's why they self-sabotage, because of their own, the way they look at themselves. So that's why they have to do shadow work to change, because they're looking from a cracked lens of toxicity, of pain, adding to how they devalue their own self. So that's why they self-sabotage. It was deeper than them just getting mad at her and running away. It was the fact that they didn't have what it took to be with her in the first place, but they still went after it. Okay, so that's what happened in the past, right? That's where they were coming from. What's the current energy with the 2 of Swords? We have the Queen of Cups sideways. What else? Ooh. Some of you, this is currently happening where you guys have been going through a breakup with this person. So I feel like this is the Queen of Cups energy. This is sorry guys, I was checking my battery. She's in an in-between energy where she doesn't know if she would give to this connection again, whether that's in the current or in the future. Like, if they change, because I feel like she's looking at them from a place, like her perspective is changing, or it has changed. So she's not holding resentment towards them as far as like, I hate this person for what they did to me. I feel like she's gotten over it. She sees the truth of the situation. Like, I know they loved me, but her perspective has changed into, they made those choices and decisions because they didn't have what it took to be with me. It was never going to work, even if we stayed together, even if they never lied, even if they never cheated, because all it was emotions. Like, this person had emotions for me, and they wanted me based off of the way I made them feel, but they did not have enough logic to know how to make disciplined decisions. This person is not a provider, so this person don't even know how to handle their finances, their life. They would mess up her life because they would always be running out of money. They don't know how to budget well, so even if they went to work and made money, they would lose that money. So in reality, she dodged a bullet in the energy that they were in, because they could have messed up her life in a very, very big way because of the way she loved them. because she was too much in that light energy of seeing them the way she see herself, when in reality relationships take more than feelings, right? So if she develops on her journey, she learns that, no, I need someone who's intellectual, an emperor, right? That have all of the kings or queens in them. So it's like, I need someone emotionally intelligent that's not going to lash out on me when they get upset because they don't know how to handle problems. I need somebody who is a king of pentacles, financially disciplined, and who's willing to build together, be a team. I need somebody who is passionate and driven, have ambition, have purpose. Like, all of that is leadership qualities. And I need someone who, what's the other element I'm missing? Water, fire, air. Oh, no, I already said earth. Air, water. What's the other one? Why am I missing an element? My brain really feels stuck. Hold on. Air, water, earth, fire. But I said earth, said fire. Oh, maybe I said all of them. They need intellect. They need emotional intelligence. They need to be very grounded, giving, go-getter. They need to be driven, passionate, right? Like, about their purpose. That's what would make that person a great leader. But see, this person was nowhere near that. This person was a page of wands. So she was a whole queen of cups. Or she's the queen of cups now in this current energy. But when they met her, they were in the very beginning of their energy. So some of it is like, okay, how do I explain it? Because I don't want to give excuses for anybody, because that's not what it is. So don't take it from that. Just look at everything from perspective. This person wasn't intentionally trying to hurt the Queen of Cups. They really did fall for her. They really did want a relationship. They really wanted to invest. But the reality is that they were a page of wands. So this person didn't have a plan. This person they weren't sure about what they wanted because they didn't have a plan. So they weren't developed enough for the relationship. They wanted the relationship based off of how it made them feel, which is still like a childish thinking, right? A childish thinking is feeling based. It's not, you don't know how to build with someone. So an example of me, it's like, I've been in a marriage for 9 to 10 years, right? So for dating, for me, is completely different because I spent so long in a relationship with someone. There's certain things that I have experience on. Even if you haven't been married, you don't have to be married to have experience within a connection, right? Like being in a long-term relationship. You're going to learn things, and there's going to be things where it's like you're going to have to just ignore, pick your battles. You just learn certain things. So if you meet someone who makes you feel amazing, and then they pretended to be you on your level and you fall for them, they were pretending because they saw something beautiful that they wanted, because it was emotion based. But the truth is they were nowhere near ready to receive that, have that. They hadn't done that work yet to have that. So that's where the downfall happened, was they went for something big that they couldn't handle. It's like a kid that ordered a big meal and they couldn't finish that meal. But they had to prove to themselves that they could have it, that they could get it. So that could have also been what was the reasoning behind why they left or put her in this dark night of the soul. Because in reality, what they're dealing with and hiding, because this is the truth, that they were immature and not ready. She was like the test. They were at the beginning of a new cycle where it was like, I want a relationship. But this person could have been like a player. This person could have still had issues to heal from their exes. Like, none of that work was done. So they shouldn't have pursued anyone, but again, they didn't know that. They weren't thinking like that. They were just thinking off of emotion. So the Queen of Cups, she has to make a decision about this connection. And I feel like she keeps herself guarded. She keeps her energy pulled back because she is heartbroken, right? It was a shock. It was very, very surprising because she also felt like they were the one. And this cycle is closing, or it has closed. So this is what's happening in the current moment for some. It's been some time. Probably hasn't been a long, long time. Let me see. I keep seeing 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4. It could have been like 4 months, 4 to 6 months that this relationship has been in separation. Any one of those timelines, or it will take about that long for this queen to have a realization about what really happened in this connection with this masculine. While she reflects, she's going to go back to the beginning and remember some things. But she is definitely going to pull her energy away when things fall apart. And while she pulls her energy away, she's going to sit and think about what she wants with this connection. Whoa, what is this? This is the turning point. So for those that are experiencing this in the current moment, I feel that she's walking towards her future. She's walking towards her 10 of Pentacles, who she's going to build with. So this feminine is moving towards a connection that's going to lead to marriage. Now, we got the Ace of Wands. So I feel like this is going to be a new person. There's going to be a new person, or she's going to have a new offer. And this person is going to want to invest in her, and she's going to have to make a choice. She's going to have to make a choice if she wants this masculine, allow this masculine to come back in her life. But she's not really thinking of that. I don't know. It's like so confusing to explain. Like, in the current energy, she's thinking of this person. But she's not thinking of them like, oh, I miss them. Oh, I want to be with them. It's not that. It's like she knows she's moving forward. But this is the final turning point of her moving forward because she's about to run into someone. So if she makes a decision that, based off of what she knows about this person, her assessment, that she wants to reconnect with them, that might be the person she runs into, because the universe is sending her someone at this point. For some of y'all in the current moment, the universe is sending someone. So she needs to, like, it's like she's calling in that person quicker by letting go of this person. Not saying she's still holding on like, oh, I want them, but making that final decision of like, yeah, I can lose this universe. Like, I really want something 100% new and fresh. What I do see her doing, though, she has not made a decision about that person, is that she's just choosing to remain single. So her fight right now is, okay, it feels like her perspective is healed. So at this point, right, where we have the Two of Swords energy with that decision, her perspective is more healed. She's done a lot of soul searching. She's looked at herself. She's looked at them. So she's not holding on to anger or malice or anything that they did. She has an understanding of what's going on, right? Like, she has that understanding. Now she's having to make the decision for herself. Okay, so it's like she's talking to herself. Okay, now I have the understanding and the clarity about them and about what our relationship was. It's like she needed to release that anger. She needed to release the idea she had of them or the confusion if they really loved her or not. She needed to release that and then make it about herself. Like, okay, yeah, they did all of this stuff to me and they hurted me, but I do know that they loved me. So this is my choice if I want to give them another opportunity. I don't have to hate them because I know that they loved me and they messed up due to their trauma. But I know that they loved me. And I do believe they would do the work for me. It's like she's coming from that perspective. But it's that choice she has to make of, do I want this or do I not? Like, what do I really authentically want? But she's choosing to not make a choice right now, and she's choosing to be single, if that made more sense. She's choosing to expand, right? She wants to build. She wants to grow on her own. It's like, ooh, shit. I didn't expect that. We got the Knight of Wands. She low-key want to be a player. She wants to explore her options. Like, she don't want to be a player in the sense of, like, she's just out here breaking hearts. But it's like that she's, oh my God. She's who they used to be. They're turning into her and she's turning into them. I'm not a player. I just crush a lot. Hey. Yep. Yeah, it's like she's not trying to break hearts, but it's like, I feel like her lineup would know about each other and they would be okay with it. Like, that's a real player when you could tell everybody and they know about each other and they not tripping. They just want your time, your attention. They're hooked on you. May the best man win, right? Like, that's a real player, not the ones over here lying to get what they want and trying to hide stuff, all of that. But she's the more dangerous one. She's the more dangerous one, even though she's the light energy. She's the true dangerous one because anything that she touches is authentic to it. So when she's in this shadow energy, that shadow energy is authentic. It's in its rawest form. When they responded out of their shadow, what was hidden was their light. They hid who they really were and presented this mask of like this very devious, deceitful person because that's how they wanted the world to see them. They wanted people to not see their light, right? So now that she's in this energy where she's tapping into the shadow, this is why it's starting to come up to her where it's like, you know what, let me be a little bit more selfish. Let me think about me. That's the energy this Queen of Cups is turning into. It's more of let me become a little bit more self-absorbed. Like, okay, I get this person wants me. I get that they made a mistake. Yeah. But I have the ability to choose who I want in my life. Just because they now recognize that they love me and they want to do the work and they didn't do things right doesn't mean I have to pick them. I want to see what else is out there. I forgive you. That's what the energy feels like. It feels like I forgive you, but that don't mean that I have to have anything with you again. So she just wants to go have fun. She just wants to expand. She's not ready to settle down. It's like she went from wanting to settle down to not wanting to settle down. And for them, it's the opposite energy where they want to settle down. So they're filled with regret because they feel like they're being pushed away regardless, right? Regardless, because she doing her thing. So that's what we have with the feminine in the current. What do we have for this energy in the future with the High Priestess? Uh-oh. Should I do a different thing? Yeah, just to make it fair. What do we have in the future energy with the High Priestess? We got moving on. Where's she moving to? She's on a high speed. She moving quickly somewhere. Oh, okay. So she moves into Queen of Swords. So her energy changes throughout the reading. She's that Queen of Cups, and that Queen of Cups is sideways because that Queen of Cups is transforming into the Queen of Swords. And then with that High Priestess being there, I feel like this is also her intuition being heightened. So she follows her intuition, and her intuition tells her to start speaking up, speak the truth, or it's something about her energy where it's like, it's no longer hidden, right? Remember, the light energy hides. She's hiding her darkness. That's her mask. So, and their mask, the dark energies that they're hiding their light. So, damn, this is so fucking deep. I'll give y'all a little bit of it, and then we'll let that part go because I don't want to confuse y'all too. But you know that yin yang energy. I never know which one is the black and which one is the white. Which one is the feminine is the actual darker energy. The masculine is the light energy. Right? And remember how I say it's like the masculine is the one wearing the shadow energy, but he's truly the light. She's the one wearing the light energy, but she's truly the darkness. So that's how deep it is. It's like it all connects. Life, everything connects. That duality. That yin yang energy is within and it's without in that whole dynamic. But the masculine energy, right? In general, what masculine energy is the masculine is the one with the blueprint. The feminine energy is the one that birthed it, the creator that bring things into reality. But the feminine has to create chaos in order to birth things. It's like when you are carrying a child for 9 months in the womb, that's a seed that's been planted. The masculine plants the seed. The feminine carries it out, right? But that 9 months is a lot of turbulence because she's uncomfortable. Her body is changing. Her mindset is changing. Her instincts is changing. That's going through chaos in order to create change. The feminine energy is powerful. And you're not the feminine energy just because you are a woman, but more women are naturally the feminine energy. Same thing with masculines. Not all masculines are the masculine energy, but mainly they are the masculine energy. That's why we have that energy where you see a lot of the masculines sit, right? When you have a deadbeat baby daddy, or you're always doing, as a feminine, doing the work within the relationship, trying to bring it together because you're the creator. But see, it's not about your position. It's about how you use the energy and master it. But you also have masculine energy. So when you know how to use it, you also have your own blueprint. You also have the map, the recipe, right? So if you're in tune with your feminine energy and your masculine, then you can create anything. That's why it's also always being depicted that the woman is smarter than the man. The woman can survive without the man because the feminine is the gift, right? But it's not a man-woman thing. It's just predominantly in women, predominantly in men. So when you're dealing with the feminine, masculine, that doesn't mean he's girly. Like, that just means that he's in touch with that creator energy within him, which he should be. So to have a really divine masculine, you're going to see the feminine energy comes out of him. That feminine energy looks like him having a plan and persecuting that plan. So when you see construction workers and they're building things, that's the feminine energy, not masculine energy. On the earthly plane, we will contribute that to being masculine because of what we say a man is, right? That's a manly thing. But that's the feminine energy being represented when you're seeing them build. So when you're looking for a relationship, right? These are the things and qualities you're looking for. That's why it's important to come into balance with self, the masculine and the feminine aspect. So when you're calling in a relationship, that's what you're calling in. The spiritual journey is way deeper than everything that you see on the surface. It's what's happening on the inside, and how quickly you do the work or how long you prolong to do the work is how your manifestation is going to come in. Like, I'm going on 4 years being awakened, right? Y'all see I ain't in union with nobody and I do a lot of soul work. But I've also learned and developed a lot on my journey that I'm so content and happy with myself. Like, I might play around and complain about relationships here and there, but I still believe in love. I still like the idea of it, but I don't care if I never be in love with anyone because I'm in love with myself. And when I started out the journey, I couldn't wait to have a partner. And some days it does get lonely. Like, that's just normal. But it's not more days than it is more days with me being happy. And when I do feel lonely, I just really realize it's not that I'm really lonely. I just want someone to be intimate with. I don't really want a partner because I like my space. I like waking up and it's just me. I like not having to worry about somebody else's emotions and feelings or have to consider somebody in my day. Like, I've found the joy in being single. And I think I'm trying to find myself. The more you find yourself, the more you're going to fall in love with yourself. And I'm not saying you're going to get to a point where you don't desire relationships. That's not it. Like, I still desire a relationship, but my desire for it isn't attachment. My desire for it is, if it comes, cool. If it don't, cool. Like, I'm neutral. I'm not opposed to it, but I'm not fixated with it because I'm very content in my own journey, in my own self, in my healing. And I've realized that what I'm manifesting is going to require a lot of work. So for you to be my partner, it has nothing to do with just the way you look and how you are aesthetically, or I get turned off real easy. So for you to even impress me, you got to be very intellectual and you got to be very intellectual and very confident and very expressive, because all those things I am, and that's the way that I'm going to treat you. And if you can't treat me that way, the relationship isn't reciprocated. I will be wasting my time because our conversations are going to be so boring. We're not going to have anything in common. You're going to be intimidated by the amount of people who want to pursue me. And then you're going to project all your insecurities on me because you can't handle what comes with me. So you have to be confident, right? Like, real confidence. No play confidence, nothing. And it's not a lot of those people in the world because not a lot of people do shadow work. So that's why I'm content with being single, because it's like, it's not going to break me if I don't have a partner. I already have everything I need for myself. And I know the places that I'm going because I know that I'm building that. Like, I could depend on me, count on me to build the reality that I see. I don't need someone else to build it with me, for me. So love is a choice. Love is a choice, and I understand that I'm a gift, so that if I'm not valued by someone that I might be attracted to, it's easy for me to walk away. I don't even have to not like you or hate you. It's gotten to the point where I crush on people, and I'm like, yeah, that's just a crush. It doesn't mean I want to be with you. It don't even mean I want to sleep with you, but I adore you. I think you're fine. I think you're cool. I like your attitude. But that does not mean that I see you as my partner. But I can enjoy that energy between us. I can, for whatever it is. It doesn't even have to have a label. But I know when I find my partner, he's going to naturally reflect the things that I like about myself. It's just going to be natural for him to do it. It's not going to be pretend. Hi, Earth Angel. It's not going to be pretend, like how we once were deceived by the twin flame who pretended to be everything you wanted and more, right? The reason why I fell for my twin flame and his illusion was because I wanted him to be everything and more. And then it was also because I hadn't tapped into my shadow to see like all the false things that can happen in the world or people can do to you. I wasn't privy to deception until I experienced being deceived. I saw it, but I didn't believe it because I was still developing, right? So it's like these experiences really teach you some very hard lessons, but it teaches you truth. It teaches you how to be strong. Because it's a collective. We go through cycles, but in different timeline. You can change your timeline, but it all has to do with you and your development and your growth. I know for me personally, I'm getting closer to my person. I can feel them. And I also see where I'm still learning lessons. Like, one of them I'll share for you guys. But I really have a crush on this girl, right? And I never used to claim being bisexual because I was like, for me, it's not real. I'm not a real bisexual. Like, I could never see myself in a relationship with a woman, like full-blown relationship with a woman. But I could have sexual energy between us. Like I've always liked women sexually. That's why I'm never a hater, because it's like, I think y'all fine. I think y'all beautiful. Like, but at that same time, have that sisterhood. But I could never see a relationship. I'm like, no, masculine men all day. Like, and then I'm also not that type of person who would share a partner either. Like, I'm very territorial. So it's like, it wouldn't even be that type of case where it's like, oh, so you're bisexual so you could share this person in your relationship. No. But there's a girl that, and I think it's because she's spiritual too, and it's her energy, and she is a masculine kind of feminine female, but like she carries that feminine energy as well, where it's, even though she's not girly, she has the emotional warmth, the comfort, and all of that. But what I'm learning through it, it's like she embodies masculine energy. It's masculine energy that I desire. Like, I love everything about men because of that masculine energy that they predominantly carry. But when they start messing up and they irritate me and we fight, where it's like they're toxic, that's the part where they're missing the feminine energy. So her having that masculine energy but also carrying that feminine energy, that's what I'm attracted to. And it's like, I've actually visualized myself in a relationship with her, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. But I really don't want a relationship. I feel that I'm just awakening to explore that within myself, where it's like, you've been saying you're not bisexual, but here goes a woman that's stemming emotions in you the same way you would have for a man. I would never fall for a girl. I would never allow myself to fall for a girl because I'm like, I don't want to be with a girl. And then I sat and I got deeper with it, and I'm like, well, really, what is the issue with me being with a girl? Let's really talk about it. And I'm talking about with myself. And I was like, one, I think deep down inside, I don't want to be seen with a girl. Like, because that's also something that I would have to explain to my family. Or, you get me? Like my mom knows that I'm bisexual, but it's nothing that we've actually really talked about. Like, and she's always seen me predominantly with men. So in her mind, it's like she don't see me being with a girl. She just sees me. Maybe she's like, okay, my daughter's freaky, but she's not like she would. It's not that deep where she would think I would bring home a girl, right? My mom would accept it anyways, but I think, when you come from your family where they still have these. They're not as spiritual as you. They're not as open as you. They still have those mindset about things. So even if they accept it, they might still gossip about it, talk about it, da-da-da-da-da. So I feel like deep down inside, that was a thing. That was a thing. It was like, but it was a subconscious thing. It wasn't a thing that was directly in the front of my mind where it's like, because I'm not someone who cares what people think. But I think subconsciously, deep down inside, that's why I'm like, oh, we could have a sexual relationship, but I would never be in a relationship. So with me experiencing that with this girl, I really think that spirit opening me up and saying, no, you really can love a girl. You really can love, you love the energy. So now understand this about yourself. Don't close yourself off and say, you're only going to date men, because what if your soulmate is a woman? And I ain't gonna lie, I've been starting to maybe wonder about that, because I'm like, I don't hate men, but I'm really growing a dislike for the species of men just because it's so much men who are just so toxic and like they don't get it. But there is good men out there too. Like I have those friendships, but it's like there's this frustration coming down on me where I'm just like, I'm over them. I feel over them. Like I never felt like I would feel that way before, because I've always been like a ride, die hard. I love men, but they carry the same energy. What do you mean, Monica? Like women? Or, oh, you mean the masculine energy? Yeah. So for me, I think that I'm supposed to be in this place where I have this kind of like, well, it's like I don't hate men, but I have like a disgust. I'm just disgusted with them right now. Like I'm tired of them. And I'm not turning to women to like replace that. You get what I'm saying? Like that's not what's happening with me. It's more of like my attraction to this girl is just revealing to me that, for one, I'm very picky. Right? So it's a certain energy that just opens me up like that. It has nothing to do with the sex of the person. It's the energy. And me learning that about myself is then now opening me up and not closing me off. So that's a whole new journey for me now. It's like, okay, me knowing that it's masculine energy I'm attracted to. So that means that I do have a girl type. That means I like studs. I like them type of girls. I don't like the feminine girly girls, because those girls are going to put me in my masculine energy. And I dated girls when I was in high school, and I was the masculine energy because they were very feminine, and that would put me into that energy where I do feel like a stud, like, but that's not what I want to be. So we're constantly learning about ourselves. That's why I was sharing that with you guys, because the energy affects us all differently, but me coming into balance with myself, it's showing me where I'm still exploring myself. Even if I think I'm ready for a relationship, it's like, no, but you don't really know who you are. You're closing yourself off, but this is really who you are. So tap into that, find out about that, explore more. And then you can make your decision of what you actually really want because you've explored it. You get me? So anyways, back to the reading. We got this high priestess who becomes this Queen of Swords. Her spirit tells her, her spirit, her energy just changes to where she's different. Like, she's not as quiet about her feelings. She speaks up. Right? That's the energy that she moves towards in the future, where she speaks up. She becomes more vocal. 7 of Wands. 9 of... What is this? Oh, 7 of Wands, 9 of Swords. This is about blockage. Who's crying? What's this blockage? Oh, she becomes very logical, strict. 10 of Wands. She blocks out her emotions. She blocks out the pain, like the unfairness, the worries. Okay. It's not like a block. She don't block it like because she's suppressing it. She blocks it like fighting. It's like her speaking her truth blocks out any stressful energy. Right? So that's like what I'm saying to you guys with me and the bisexual thing, exploring that. That's a form of me speaking my truth. So that blocks anything inside of me that feels like I should be ashamed of it. It's like, no. If I feel the need to go tell my mom, like, hey, this is where I'm at, and, you know, not saying it's going to be this, but if I bring home a girl, be ready to accept that. Like, be ready to accept that. That's me stopping anything. What if my mom don't like that? If my mom talks against that, then I know to cut my mom out of, maybe not cut her completely out of my life. I don't see myself ever being able to do that. And I know my mom would accept it. So I'm just trying to give an example. But it's like I would know that I would have to protect myself from this because you wouldn't accept my relationship. You would make me feel bad about it or talk down about it. You would make me feel shame for it. Right? So this Queen of Cups tapping into that Queen of Swords energy is just her speaking up, speaking her truth. And then it's going to motivate her to actually bring in what she's trying to build. And it's going to block manipulation. People that try to manipulate her because they're going to see her for who she is. They're going to see her be assertive, strong. It's like, you know, when the way someone talks sometimes can make you instantly respect them, right? It's like, not saying y'all got to be aggressive, but it's like a lot of people are afraid of black women, right? Because a black woman will be quick to cuss you out, like stereotypical. You will, just her tone of voice would scare you. It's like that energy where it's like you don't have to be loud or acting crazy or wild, but just speaking your truth is gonna let people see who you are. Like, not to play with you, not to try you, not to, but it's a form of expressing yourself as well, right? You speaking your truth is you expressing yourself. That don't mean go on the internet and start telling your business. No. But don't let people get away with how they treat you. Ooh, yeah, somebody's gonna step out. Somebody's gonna step out and shine in the future. Because this is something that they didn't do in the past. Like, they didn't allow themselves to be seen. I also feel like that masculine was scared to be seen. They were scared to be seen in a relationship. They were scared to be seen really settling down. So it's like they got cold feet as well, because it was like their community was going to talk about them. Their community was going to damn, their community did do that. Their community actually told them that this person didn't really care for them, that they were under an illusion, that this connection wasn't going to go nowhere. They told them that they, like, why would that person really want you? They won't stay with you. We got an emperor in the reverse. So it's like they really talked down on this person, you know, and made them feel like they weren't going to have what it required to be with her, to keep her. Like, so they discouraged them. It was like, you're not good enough for her. And remember, they already felt like that. So their community saying it rubbed it in their face even more and made them feel even more like, she's too good for me, I can't have her. So all of this was self-sabotage from them not listening to their higher self, them putting this feminine within reach of their community, because these people were jealous. They knew that masculine would have changed for her, and they didn't like that, because then that means they would lose that masculine. So they knew exactly what they were doing. Yeah, that's what stopped them. That's what stopped them from putting forth effort into the relationship, because they felt they couldn't have it. They felt they weren't good enough for it. And they lost the opportunity with the High Priestess. Alright, so let's wrap it up. That's what they're going to realize in the future. In the past, they started off where they wanted her. They wanted to invest in her. They saw her as their wish fulfillment, their future. But then the heartbreak was created because of how they felt about themselves. They still needed to grow. They still needed to heal, and they needed to be honest with themselves that, like, this was in their subconscious. They didn't know that they weren't ready for her. They hid it from themselves. This was hidden from them. But they did know that this was the first time they were really investing in a relationship. I think they could have been honest too and told her that, like, in the very beginning. Because the other energy that I'm getting is that the feminine, she also was in illusion or delusional about certain things. Like, certain things they might have said, but she just didn't pay attention to it. Like, but they did tell her, they could have told her, like, I'm not where you are. It's not that I'm trying to be immature, but I don't know how to do this. I've never done this before. I've never committed to anyone fully. I've never really given my heart. I've never been faithful. Like, there were some things that they said that she probably was like she had so much faith in them that she bypassed what they said, because it was like, I appreciate you being honest with me, but I have faith in you that you're not going to do those things to me. It's like that type of energy. So that's why in the current moment we have the Two of Swords, where she's making that decision, or having to make that decision, because she's looking at all of that. She's looking at, like, you know what, they did tell me certain things, but I didn't pay attention. So she's taking accountability, and then she's looking at them differently, because she's seeing their side where it's like, yeah, they hurt me, but let me look at the place of where they were coming from, why they did that, because of what she's grown to and what she's taking accountability for. She's taking accountability for the fact that she chose to only hear certain things or acknowledge certain things when they were trying to tell her who they were. They were trying to love her, be with her. They just failed at it. And of course, it's not an excuse for them because they have to take accountability for themselves. So I do feel like along the way, they end up being mean. They end up being spiteful and things like that to like get rid of her, get back on her, or get back at her, whatever the fuck. But like they did a little bit of both. Like they knew what they were doing and they didn't know what they were doing at the same time. So it's very confusing. It's confusing because this person is confusing. All right, tell me more about the future, Holy Spirit, angel guides. Wow, we got that 8 of Swords there. Ooh. They gonna see. They gonna be hard. She is gonna, some way, somehow, it's gonna be known that she has options. It's gonna be known that she's exploring her options. This person might see things, like they might see her outside with somebody, or they might see her online. They might hear about her. They might have mutual people that watch her, or like a mutual friend, something. But they're going to find out that she's exploring other options. And they're going to feel so hurt and so bad. Because I feel like this person did that too. Everything they did, she's doing. But she's not doing it to hurt them. She's just living her life, and it's going to hurt them. When they did their stuff, they did it to hurt her. Yeah, they don't like that. Ooh, damn. You know what this feels like, y'all? This feels like karma. These twins gonna end up together, I bet you. The reason why I feel like that is because literally she's doing what they did to her, but it's their karma. And if she does what they did to her, then it's like that karma can now get erased. And they still have to do that work and come in mature and a different person. But once they do that work, then they're able to come into balance with that feminine, because everything will be even. So it's like they're suffering right now because they have to feel what she went through, what they put her through, in order to even have another opportunity with her. So in that future, they have to see. It's making sense. Oh, these two might end up together. Because what it feels like, why her stuff is prolonged, is because Spirit is using the entire situation to teach the feminine as well about love that she wants, but she's probably still manifesting them. Not intentionally, but because that's who they're going to grow into. And she had to get to this frustration where things wouldn't work with anybody, to where she wants to explore her options, because that then is what they have to experience her doing to them. So it's like subconsciously they're triggering each other, pushing each other into growth without even intentionally doing it or knowing that they're doing that. She becomes him, he becomes her. And once there's that balance, then forgiveness, real true forgiveness, can actually take place, and they can be together and have that life that they plan. If that's going to be the case. But that's what it's looking like. Ooh, the universe is crazy. We got King of Cups. Why is the King of Cups there? Damn. So either they're the King of Cups and they want to marry her, or they are in fear that they're going to see her with the King of Cups. They're going to watch her be married to some King of Cups. Tell me about that King of Cups. Who's that King of Cups? Oh my God, who the fuck? I think the King of Cups is somebody else. Because this person is sexy. This person is healing. This person is very, very loving and warm. And they know what they want. This is probably somebody who's going to be really close to her. Somebody in her friends group. Somebody in her community. But there's something about it being mutual. Like, they're going to see her with somebody else. That's going to get them jealous. But that makes sense to me because they have to hurt. So even if that King of Cups is not who this feminine ends up with, they're going to see her with someone. Tell me more about that King of Cups, Holy Spirit, angel, guys. The Hermit. Tell me more. Okay, so this King of Cups is a friend. This King of Cups have not really made it known how he feels because he's still gaining the courage and the strength to do it. He has not expressed, but he has a lot of feelings for this feminine. And he's been doing some soul searching since he's met her. And he feels like he can't move towards her right now. Like on the inside, he wants to rush and tell her how he feels, but he doesn't have the courage to do it. But this is someone who we would say is very handsome. Somebody who gets attention as well. They're not afraid of the spotlight either, right? So her level of attention don't intimidate them. I don't think that's what they're worried about. They're more intimidated by, like, does she care about me? Do she really like me? Would she consider someone like me? But they accept everything about her. They like everything about her. Tell me more about this King of Cups. Yeah, they got a lot going on, though. They're trying to get their money together. See, again, it's that thing where they feel like they don't have enough. I think this feminine really put masculines in this place where they feel like she wakes them up, their masculine energy, to want to give to her, because the masculine is the giver. So it wakes that up inside of them, but they don't be ready to. That's the same thing that happened with that twin. That twin was not ready to give to her. That twin was not. See, okay. Thank you, Spirit. What Spirit is saying is, like, look at the contrast between the energies before making a decision. Right? It's like you got this past person who saw what they wanted and they went after it, but they weren't ready to have it because they needed to grow. They needed to become a provider, all of that, right? So if this feminine look at the situation, she already knows what it's like when someone comes in and they want to invest in her and they don't have anything to offer, what it's going to look like. How much weight that actually is on her and how unequal the connection is. So she's already had that experience. So she needs to learn from that experience. Now with the other person who's the friend who's silent about their feelings, they're not rushing in telling her, oh, I want to be with you. I like you. I want you. Because they know that she deserves more. Remember, each masculine knows what they're able to give. This masculine took what he wanted, regardless if he was trying to be selfish or not, which I don't think he was, but it still turned out that way, right? He took what he wanted and then left. This masculine don't want to start anything because he knows he still needs to get things in order to be able to provide and give for her, but he does want her. So this is the only reason why he has not said how he feels. He has not made those decisions to pursue her because of these burdens that he's dealing with in becoming this King of Pentacles. So what is he going to do? He's sitting down thinking about it. He's sitting down thinking. He's looking at the truth. This connection makes him happy. What else? We got death. We have judgment. Ooh, okay. So she's had some beef with this masculine too. From what it looks like. But see, I think her beef is coming from them not expressing how they feel. Regardless if this is in contact, in person, or if they're watching, it's energy. Remember, we're reading energy. So when you guys are hearing this and you're like, well, we haven't communicated, this is energy, so they can feel it in the energy, right? They're feeling like she's not happy with them. They get that impression she's not happy with them because they feel like she thinks that they're toxic. Hi, Aubrey. She feels like she thinks that they're toxic. And we got the Queen of Swords. Remember, she was coming out already. But that means that she's been showing up in a way that's showing that. Like, she said something, she's posting something, she's sharing something. She told someone something and it got back to them. Either way, there was communication about what she feels. So they're trying to figure out how to start over with her, how to have a whole new beginning. But that King of Cups got real emotions. They just ain't expressed that, but they think of her in that. It's like they got a crush on her, but they actually sit and visualize their life with her. And they're like, the only reason that they haven't come forward is because they don't have anything to offer her right now. But they are building that. But she also pushed them to do that. Because until they met her, they weren't in a rush. Until they met her, they weren't like knowing that they needed to do all of that. Hold on, a card fell. I've been said I was going to wrap this up. I lied. I do need to though because I got to go. We have Knight of Pentacles. We have, okay, now the Queen of Wands coming out. So she also turns into the Queen of Wands. So far we got the Queen of Cups, High Priestess, Queen of Swords. The only one we missing is the Queen of Pentacles. But at this point, she's the Queen of Wands. So what we're looking at, right, because we're reading past, future, present. Past, present, future. When she was that Queen of Cups, is showing up in the current energy. And then that energy ends up changing in the future. That she becomes this Queen of Swords first. Right? She gets in that energy, but I feel like who she is or who she becomes in total is a Queen of Wands. Like that's her essence of her energy is a Queen of Wands. And she starts to change something, or her boundaries got bigger, stronger, because she felt like they were moving too slow. This person is moving too slow. I'm going to put my boundaries up against them. They don't want me. They're probably playing a game. Remember, there's always two sides. It's like, this King of Cups is a great person. He's not toxic, but she thinks he's toxic because of what he's not doing. He's not telling her how he feels. He's not expressing his emotions. Maybe he's in and out. The way he communicates. Something feels off about him where she's like, I know we have great chemistry, but it's like, you could also be playing a game, and if I have to try to figure it out, I'm not gonna stay. Very slow, but different from the ex. Yeah. Yes, I told him I'm leaving him to be. Okay, so that's that Queen of Swords energy, that communication. They know she feels some kind of way. So they're trying to figure out how to restart the connection, but like with a new beginning. But they haven't started anything yet. Right? But again, it's because this person is trying to get themselves together. Oh, there goes the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. There's somebody that's not letting them go, that they have to take care of. So this could be a mom. It don't have to be a baby mother, but it could be. But someone's restricting them from being able to completely move forward into this Emperor energy. Damn. They gonna let it go, though. I feel like it's a family situation. I don't feel like this is like another person that they're with. It feels like they have responsibilities to their family. But now they need to get stern, strong, and disciplined and tell that family no and start moving towards what they really want, because they want a relationship. They want to be the head. This person is very disciplined. Their mindset is still changing. So this King of Cups is like, they're very different from the Page of Wands. Even though they both felt the same way about her, it's like they just have completely two different ways of approaching her. But she's mistaking them for this same energy. You get me? She's not seeing them as they really are. So she has no idea that this person cares for her really deeply and really wants her. And they have a lot going on to why they haven't pursued her, but they're still trying to do that. They're just somebody that's going to keep it a secret until they have it all lined up. So they're more mature than that Page of Wands. They're not, this King of Cups isn't immature. This King of Cups is trying to do things right. So if this King of Cups is a masculine, meaning like a male, they're more so in the energy where they're trying to push along things. So they're thinking more with their logic and their mindset rather than what they want in this current moment. So it's like a man. It's like they're like, I gotta be a man. I gotta step up and be a man. It's not, I'm playing games or I'm trying to hold on to this so I can have fun and have all these options, and then this person is there for me when I'm ready to settle down. They want her now. They just know that it doesn't make sense for them to express that without having anything to give to her. So they're holding back. They're trying to save up. They're really trying to save their money, and then they're going to apologize to her because they know, I feel like they're also intuitive. See, the King of Cups is someone who's intuitive, so they have emotional intelligence. Them being intuitive, they know she's mad at them. They know she feels some way about them. My ex was really a little boy. Yeah, they know she's mad at them. They know that they need to give her an apology. But see, the thing is that what they're going to end up recognizing is that them holding back from her and not like committing in any way, because they're not committing to her in no kind of a way, but they are manifesting her, but they're also manifesting conflict. They manifested a fight. They're not trying to fight with her at all, right? But it's like they're not going about the connection right, because them trying to hide the fact that they're trying to make enough money so that they could be her King of Pentacles, instead of just telling her how they feel. It's like that pride in the way. So they're starting to regret it. It's like they're getting farther away from her. She's getting farther away from them because they feel like they made the situation worse. Like they're burying a hole deeper and deeper and deeper, because I don't think these two, I don't know, like the energy between them, there's love there, but nothing ever really came out of it. So it's like there's nothing to technically fight over, but there is an energy fight where it's not even a situationship, y'all. It's like I'm mad at you because I know you have feelings for me, but you won't express them, and then you're coming off like you don't, not that you don't care, but it's like this person keeps their distance. Like, that's frustrating, right? It's like if you're trying to communicate with someone and you know they care about you, they show you that when you do communicate, but then there's still something that they do where it's like, you're purposely, the more closer I try to get to you because I think we're progressing, you distance yourself. Why are you distancing yourself from me? But they're distancing themselves because they want to have the upper hand in the situation. But again, this is a paradox. It's not the same way the Page of Wands was. The Page of Wands was really being sneaky and hiding the fact that they were really immature. They still were under an illusion to themselves of how immature they were, but they were hiding. They purposely saw that feminine was mature, and that Page of Wands pretended to be mature. So to an extent, they knew exactly what they were doing, being deceptive. The masculine is being deceptive as well, the King of Pentacles, but their deception is hiding the fact that they're really trying to gather this money and gather themselves to this King of Pentacles, because that's going to make them feel like they have something to offer, good enough about themselves. Then they would tell her, I've really been staying away and I'm sorry, but it's because I've been trying to build myself up, and it's because I care for you. I want to be with you, and I want to build with you, and I want to be able to provide for you because this is what I believe you deserve. It's more so of that energy coming off of that King of Cups, right, where it's a different energy that came off of the twin flame, where it was like, I want you, I gotta have you, right? So I'm willing to do anything to have you, but it was a momentary thing until they realize I really want this, but I'm not qualified for the description, right? It's like somebody sign up for a job. They get that job, but they lied their way in to get that job, and they love the job, but then the job has there's qualifications that person needed to have had, but it's like they realize they don't have it. So they're going to get fired from that job once that job realizes that they can't do the things that they put down on that application because of the position they were looking for in that job. So when that realization hits, like that fear starts to settle in, because it's like, wait, I got the thing that I really wanted, but now I'm realizing how much I can't keep it, how much I can't have it, because I lied to get it in the first place. The King of Cups is not doing that. The King of Cups is just hiding the entirety of their feelings and emotions until they have everything together to make a presentable offer. Because, so for the King of Cups is the actual person. They're trying to get hired for the job because they actually have the qualifications, not just because they like the presentation of what the job offers. The first person liked the presentation of what the job offers and did anything to get it. The second person wants to fit the description for that job offer so that they can stay there, they can work there, they can build there, right? It seems the same, but it's very opposite. Okay, they will eventually communicate that they want a new beginning. In the future, they're going to be in this energy where they see the truth differently and they're going to have to take accountability. They're going to grow into the King of Wands. Remember, we saw her as a Queen of Wands. So all of this is going to be hidden. That's their plan. Their plan is to get it all together and then come after her. But they are worried about it in the moment that they're doing it. This person is very strong-minded, and they're strict on that. So they're not going to communicate until they get to the position that they want. So I feel like it's going to be, this connection is going to be where it's like, you know when you've ever been friends with somebody and you secretly like your friend, you know, like even if you're all in the same group, and I'm always thinking of high school and people are like, ooh, you guys are together, ooh, you guys like a cute couple, ooh, da 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 da. But it's like y'all just both smile and like, but y'all don't ever try to take it anywhere or make it anything else. It's just like everybody knows and you know, but nobody moves it to the next step. That's what the energy feels like. So it's not that they are mad at each other and they're never going to talk again. I think that it's one of those situations where they might follow each other, interact with each other on Instagram, Facebook, any social media platform where it's like they'll like something here and there. But these two don't really have a conversation. These two don't really get into each other's energy. They don't get deeply into each other's energy because of that little resistance that's there. So if the feminine felt like she was trying and she wasn't being reciprocated, she's not mad at them because technically they haven't done anything to treat her in a bad way. But at the same, like, she's annoyed with it. So she's like, well, I'm not going to push forth any more energy. I'm not going to give effort to it if it's not going to reciprocate what I want it to give. Like, in her mind, it's just like, this isn't going to go anywhere. But I still think that they're a great person. With her not knowing that they have all this stuff that they're dealing with behind, like they have all these feelings for her. They're just not saying it because they don't want her to know. But they're not scared of her, right? They're not scared of being with her. They're not. Well, in a way they are. They are. They are a little bit scared of being with her, but they're not scared enough to the point where they wouldn't say how they felt. Especially if she said it, they would definitely say, I feel that same way too. But in this moment, they're not saying it because they're trying to get that bag up. Because they are a giver. They are a provider. They're a real masculine, a true masculine. So that's what I have for you guys. Like the voice left to express. I haven't seen that one. Thank you, Sona. All right, y'all. I'm about to get off of here and go run my errands. I'm about to go get ready and go do this business. And hopefully I'll see you guys later. I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for joining. If you guys are new, my name is Queen She. I dropped 2 videos today on the homepage. You guys can go check that out. It's a part 1 and part 2. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace. You're welcome, Nani.